Hi everyone, I'm Wes Pike, the Director of Operations here at Rocky Mountain Church with our lead pastor, Pastor A.J. Dudek, and we're really excited to give you guys our first update on where we're at in our Freed for the Future initiative. You can see here we launched this on Sunday, April 7th officially. We're now 7 weeks in, and we had targeted the June 23rd Sunday as a Sunday where we wanted to give you an update, a reminder of what we're doing in ministry and in strategy and the financial piece of it, and then give you an update for how much money we have raised so far.
If you guys remember, we talked about the whole idea of freeing up for the future was really centered on accomplishing some significant ministry objectives. We knew that the first domino that needed to fall was the debt on our building, and Wes presented to you guys the need to pay off our debt at the amount of around $400,000, as you can see, and the ask was centered on not just debt reduction, but what could be possible as a community at Rocky Mountain Church, as a people. What could be possible if we eliminated that burden on our budget annually? Just knowing that is looming, knowing that the interest rate was going to be adjusted here in 2025. And so we pushed with this idea that if we could knock that down, there were a few ministerial things we wanted to do, ministry objectives. And I just want to remind you of essentially the first two. There were 3 buckets in total, but the first bucket, the first thing we'd love to do as this debt gets really cut out of our annual budget, if you will, is to bring Chandra Pike up to full-time. She currently serves in a part-time capacity as our director of Rocky Kids. She oversees Discoveryland on Sunday morning. She also oversees during the school year on Wednesday nights our Kids Club and Elevate program. I would love to bring her up to full-time with the intent, essentially, in changing her role a bit, giving her the title of Director of Family Ministries at Rocky Mountain Church. And that speaks to what we want to do with Bucket 2. But Bucket 2 is the hope that we can begin to recruit and interview a candidate that will fill a pastoral slot, a pastor, an associate pastor position of youth and college here at Rocky Mountain Church. That individual would take over our Elevate ministry, middle school and high school students, and then begin to build a sustainable young adult college ministry here at Rocky Mountain Church. Along with that, he would be preaching with me once every 5 or 6 weeks in that rotation. And so those are kind of the big ministry vision aspects of this plan. And then I'll let Wes speak a little bit about Bucket 3.
Yeah, so Bucket 3, you can see that we do have a future goal of being able to expand our ministry space. And we had shared with you guys in both print and in a recent video that we have in the original blueprints for the church a design space off to the east end of our upper foyer that we would love to be able to dedicate as a larger meeting space for fellowship meals, for small groups, for Bible studies, for conferences on the upper level, and then on the lower level, a dedicated space for our kids and youth. We're already feeling the tension of a lack of versatility in spaces. For instance, we can't simultaneously hold a staff meeting and a United Marriage Ministry meeting and a Discoveryland teachers meeting led by Chandra at the same time. We just don't have the space and we don't have the comfort to be able to do that. And that is a goal that's beyond this $400,000 initial debt payoff, something for us to look at as a third bucket in this progress, but something we really have in mind that we would hope to be able to fundraise and reach, let's say, over the next 3 to 5 to maybe 7 years.
Yeah, and we know that as we build and invest in our, in our kids ministry continually and building youth in college, I think we'll start to feel the pinch of needing a little bit more square footage space to continue to live out our vision and our values here at Rocky Mountain Church. And so I think it's time to celebrate a little bit.
Time for the reveal.
And so here we go. Here's where we're at.
So you can see as of Sunday, June 23rd, we are well more than halfway on the way towards retiring that current $400,000 mortgage principal. We've split the amount that we've raised into a cash in hand total and a pledge total, and you can see that both are in a healthy way above $100,000. What I would like to point out about the cash in hand total is we want to make a first initial payment of that mortgage principal in mid-July, and we have another $25,000 committed by a Rocky donor that's waiting for the next $25,000 of matching money. So it is very possible, and I actually think very likely that it will happen, that this first pay down amount in the middle of July is not roughly $130,000. It's more like $180,000, maybe even $200,000 as more cash in hand gifts come in. If we use the $180,000 number as our initial pay down of the debt, our Rocky family will have saved the church 27 months of future mortgage payments. And that is absolutely something to celebrate. And that is showing you, I think, the initial momentum and the enthusiasm that our church has had for accomplishing this with all of the ministry strategy and vision that Pastor AJ has shared.
Yeah, and as we started to talk about this months ago, this idea of rolling out a vision, we believed it was time to do it. We wanted to look 3 to 5, 5 to 7 years out, and we knew that coming before the congregation, coming before you guys was an invitation to be part of something that was bigger than any of us, bigger than our elder team, our staff, bigger than just our community here at Rocky Mountain Church, because we do believe that God has been working and will continue to work through the ministries here at Rocky, and we are so excited and so thankful that we get to just be a part of this. We get to celebrate with you, we get to applaud with you, and we get to kind of continue to trust and see, where is God taking this? Where does God want to take our church in the next 10 years? And so we just wanted to say thank you. We wanted to give you this update, and I hope it's encouraging. For those of you that might not have been a part of this, that's okay. We want to get that information out. And I know that sometimes fundraising can be an intimidating process in nonprofits and in churches. But I just want to reiterate, the whole goal of this, you guys, is ministry focused. It's not building a church. It's not necessarily growing personal kingdoms. It is looking at, what does Estes Park need? Really, what does it need in the next 10 years? And we believe it needs discipleship in the gospel spelled out with clarity, and ministries that can come alongside of families and walk with them and disciple them. And so we want to invest in that process. So we're so thankful. Thanks for joining us on this update. And as Wes mentioned, kind of our next big update will come in mid-July.
Yep. In July, we'll inform the Rocky body of what that amount of the first initial pay down was. And if you haven't yet had a chance to participate, we would really, really love for you to do so. We have pledge cards if your intent is to give a future commitment. We're also accepting that cash in hand with the idea that we're hoping that first initial pay down can be much closer to $200,000.
And if you have continued questions on the vision, or you want to dig deeper, call me, text me, email me if there's questions about finances or how to be a part as a financial stakeholder with the vision. Wes here can answer questions that you may have. But we thank you for your time, and we look forward to the continued growth here at Rocky Mountain Church.